Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Spoiler Alert. Welcome, everybody. And remember, there's spoilers from here on out. So, pretty much this is a discussion, open discussion of stuff you've been watching. It could be past, present stuff, nothing that's in the future. If you saw any kind of, sneak previews or anything like that, keep that to yourself. Anything that's been out there for everyone to view, that's good right there. Let me take care of some business first and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right. So, excuse me. I'm actually just going to talk about, I'm going to start off with The Consultant on Amazon Prime that's on there. Christoph Waltz had done this little, I guess you could say, 8-episode series. And did it warrant 8 episodes? Not really. I mean, this could have been done in a movie, quite honestly. And it's got either a supernatural bent to it, or it's more of a supernatural bent to it. Is what the whole series is about. And really, what it's about a video game company that the CEO, the guy who actually creates the video games too, gets killed in his office by a 9-year-old kid. He literally gets shot to death, and there's a consultant that comes in and is going to help clean up the company. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And Christoph Waltz is that consultant. Um, yes, I am streaming right before the Oscars, Raymond. I don't watch the Oscars. So yeah, it's fine. I mean, if you're gonna watch the Oscars, go for it. This will be here as a video. You can come back afterwards too. Um, and so the basically a guy who works in the in the pits down there, I guess you could say, of the video game industry, and a woman who is, I guess you could say, she was the boss's gopher. Really is really what it was. She never really had a good title. They were trying to find out who this guy is, and in as they're doing this, as they're trying to find out who this guy is, uh he is making some bizarre decisions and stuff like that, and they start finding out that he might not be an actual human, is really what it is. And he's done this at other companies and made the same deal with other companies. He might be the devil too. No one ever really knows. And honestly, the show isn't that great. Like I said, it doesn't warrant 8 episodes. I went through the entire 8 episodes of this thing, and it would have been better played as a movie than as a series, quite honestly. So I love Christoph Waltz. I really do. He's a great actor and he does really well in this. It's the other two leads that are playing the other main character that are just, it falls flat. It really does fall flat. And um yeah, I wasn't too impressed with it. It just, I don't know. At first, I was kind of like, "Yeah, this is good," and then I kind of, I stepped away for it a little bit, and I'm like, "No, it's not." That's why it took me so long to kind of, I was gonna do, is it worth my time? And I kept going back and forth on it, and I finally realized it really wasn't that good. So is it worth your time? Possibly not. I mean, it depends on how much you like Christoph Waltz. He does play a suitably creepy person, and he excuse me. He plays someone who is trying to be human, I guess you could say, and really not nailing it completely. So that's interesting. I would love to see him play like an android kind of thing, and like an Aliens or something like that, like one of the Wayland androids. That would be interesting for him. I think that's kind of what he was getting at with this role. So yeah. But yeah. I mean, really, there's not that much else out there. We got The Last of Us. I'm kind of surprised The Last of Us season finale. Raymond, you're talking about me streaming right before the Oscars. The Last of Us season finale is happening during the Oscars. So I mean, go figure. They didn't even do that for the Super Bowl. For the Super Bowl, they actually went on Friday. So the Friday before the Super Bowl. So I mean, come on. Yeah. That's how much that, The Last of Us cares about the Oscars. I mean, the rest of us, honestly, I don't care about watching the Oscars. I haven't watched the Oscars since I want to say the 90s, somewhere around there. Yeah. Penn says, yeah, most people watch Super. Yeah, I know. A lot of people do watch the Super Bowl. A lot of people don't watch the Oscars. So, although the Oscars have more of a worldwide viewership, whereas the Super Bowl only gets the United States. That's it. Yeah, but anyway, um, yeah, I don't really care about the Oscars. I'm hoping that everything, everywhere, all at once, actually sweeps everything. That would be awesome. Because it deserves it, quite honestly. And I think I had mentioned that was my favorite movie of the year when I did, my "Is It Worth My Time" episode of it. And I've got the DVD someplace around here too. I don't know exactly where, but it's someplace back behind me. Good movie, really good movie, and I'm hoping that like it does get all the Oscars because it deserves it. But excuse me, my throat's just now deciding to do shit when I'm online. Um, give a little bit of news too while we're here. Uh, the animated series Batman: The Cape Crusader, which it's from Bruce Timm, J.J. Abrams, and Matt Reeves. So this thing was actually shopped over to Warner Brothers, HBO Max, all that stuff. They passed on it, and so they decided to shop it out, around all the different streaming services. So Amazon Prime has picked it up, and they've ordered 2 seasons of it. So that actually looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that one, and I'm glad it's on Amazon Prime, so it actually will get some support monetarily and not be pulled, kind of like what HBO Max has been doing lately, which is just pulling shit. It's just stupid, just really, really stupid. How many Oscars is Everything Everywhere All at Once up for? I don't know, to tell you the truth. And see where we're at here. Oscar nominations. Uh, as I'm searching here, and of course, Google's not doing any of the pre stuff for me. So it is up for 10 Oscars here. Best Picture, Best Actress, Supporting Actress. Well, actually, 2 for Best Supporting Actresses. Best Supporting Actor, Best Director, Original Screenplay, Original Score, Film Editing, and Best Costume Design. So it's up for 10 awards, is where they're at. Or excuse me, yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping that's the case. And by the way, so uh for those of you nerds out there, so what was it, the Lord of the Rings movie that won all those Oscars? I forget, I think it was the last one that did it, Return of the King. Everything Everywhere All at Once has already won more awards at this time before the Oscars. I think what they say was it double the awards that Return of the King has won. So yeah, by Oscar time. So that's that's any indication, I think that's going to be the one that does it. Yeah, I want Michelle Yeoh to win Best Actress. I want and I always murder his name, Key. to win Best Supporting Actor. I think he deserves it, and I want Best Picture is really what I want out of all of it. And I would love Stephanie Sue to get Best Supporting Actress too, but I don't know if Jamie Lee Curtis really uh, deserves it for Best Supporting Actress. I mean, she's good in it. Don't get me wrong, but I think Stephanie Sue actually killed that. She did such a great job in that movie that I would rather see her get that than Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis's reaction when she won what was it, the Golden Globe, when she's like, "Shut up, shut the fuck up," because she did not think that she was going to win that at all, and yeah, that's kind of was my same reaction. I was like, really? I thought that was going to go to Stephanie Sue, but all right, sure. Do what you want on that one. Something interesting here. John Bernthal is going to be returning as the Punisher for the Disney Plus Daredevil Born Again series, which is interesting that he's coming back as the Punisher. And I kind of called this one after his American Gigolo series got canceled on Showtime. I was like, yeah, he's coming back to becoming the Punisher. If his series had still remained on Showtime, I think it would have been a different story. But since he was free and available, you know, now they still haven't they haven't re-upped the people who played Foggy Nelson and Karen Page in the original Netflix series. Deborah Ann Wall and I can't remember his name. Guy who played Foggy, which is a shame because I think they both did great jobs. At least they haven't announced it as of yet. But I'm having a feeling that's Disney just kind of playing it close to the vest. And I think they actually have recast that or have cast them back again, but are just keeping it as a surprise. Yeah. At least that's what I'm thinking they're going to do. But and it was kind of weird. So April 16th, the fourth and final season of Barry hits HBO. So yeah, I know it's not genre stuff, but I'm kind of liking it more to horror than anything else. But yeah, the fourth and final season of Barry is coming to HBO Max, and well, I kind of figured it was going to be the final season. I know that the producers, the actor, and all that stuff goes, oh, well, we planned it this way. We figured it was a good way to end out. No, it's because HBO Max is a fucking dumpster fire of a HBO is a dumpster fire right now with Warner Brothers Discovery Plus, whatever the fuck they want to call themselves now at this point. They're killing everything that they touch at the moment. So yeah, um, I'm really surprised The Last of Us is doing as well as it is where it's at, just because how bad Warner Brothers is with this stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's a good series, Barry. Um, and oh yeah, this was kind of interesting. So Disney Plus is actually going to be reviving the Zorro series. So it's going to be a Zorro, TV series, if you will, for Disney Plus. And Wilder Valderrama is going to be playing the lead. He is going to be playing Diego de la Vega. So that's going to be interesting, and it's being written by it's actually the guy who's show running it was one of the Game of Thrones writers. Brian Cogman is his name. So, and yes, it's still going to be in the Old West, but yeah. Raymond says, yeah, Succession is on its final season too. I never watched Succession, Raymond. I've heard about it, and I know people have been trying to get me to watch it, but I watch so much stuff as it is right now, as it is. Um, and I just wasn't, I don't know, it just never really grabbed me. I don't care for sibling rivalry, especially if it's rich people's sibling rivalry shit. It just doesn't grab me at all. It doesn't excite me. So, but yeah, it's everything that's happening in HBO or Warner Brothers is just crash and burn now at this point. Yes, Raymond, thank you for reminding me. So I did look at the History of the World Part 2, and wow, speaking of dumpster fire, um, that is some just straight up shit. I know that Mel Brooks had nothing to do with this other than being a producer of it. That there's another host of comedians that they're actually starring in it. That they're the ones that are driving this. They're the writers of it as well. But boy, is it shitty. I mean, and a lot of musical numbers, a lot of really shitty musical numbers to the point where I was actually fast forwarding through the shitty musical numbers and especially the Jack Black ones. Oh my god, I'm just fast forwarding through them, and I'm like, yeah, I can't take this shit. It's really bad. The only thing I'm actually finding funny, which is kind of weird, is the Jack Sputin, uh, Jack Asputin, or something like that, where it's Johnny Knoxville playing Rasputin, but it's set up in the Jackass kind of way where people are trying to kill him. They're trying to kill Rasputin. I don't know why, but that's the only thing out of this entire thing that I've actually found funny. And it's kind of interspliced in between things. And it's because I think it's because it's short and it's not SNL kind of length of the rest of the stuff where you take a skit and you just keep fucking running with it and running with it and it's just not funny. And I'm harkening back to the old Simpsons episode where Krusty the Clown is on Saturday Night Live, or Friday Night Live, or something like that, something similar. And it's the Big Ear family, and they've got big ears, and the whole running joke is that they have big ears, and so there's a giant Q-tip, and Krusty comes out and he goes, "I got the Q-tip, huh? Huh? Oh, there's 20 more minutes of this crap," and that's pretty much what History of the World Part 2 is. Yeah. Raymond says, "Being a Christian, I find that Jesus gets funny." Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the rest of the stuff is just kind of falling flat. There's nothing there, really, and it's I don't know. The Hitler on Ice thing though was kind of a little bit funny in a chuckle kind of way, where he was getting, you actually had the aftermath of the Hitler on Ice, where he is um, being judged. That was the only, and again, it was because it was short. It was very short, sweet, and to the point. And I think that's what they needed to do is they just needed to really shorten up the length of these things and have more of the short ones and not do fucking 8 episodes. They needed to do like 2 episodes. That's it. Or maybe just have done a movie, like a hour long movie, something like that, and just done it that way. But yeah, it's just not funny. It really isn't. It's bad writing. Um, oh man. When you can come up with better jokes while you're watching it, then it's not funny. It's not funny at that point. At least I was coming up with better jokes as I was watching some of this stuff. So, and it's some of the writers' expense or some of the actors' expense too. But yeah, it was pretty horrible, or it is pretty horrible, I should say. Um, so this is kind of weird. Jack Kesey, who played uh, Black Cassidy in Deadpool 2, he's been cast as Hellboy in the movie reboot, The Crooked Man. So it's going to be Hellboy, The Crooked Man, which takes place, if I remember correctly, in the 50s, the 1950s, something like that. So this is again Mike Mignola, who created Hellboy. He is behind this, and he's actually driving this as well. So they are bringing this back again, and there's a lot of people that are out there that are screaming that they want Guillermo del Toro to come back for a third outing. Oh, excuse me. And while I love Guillermo del Toro's take on Hellboy, I loved Ron Perlman's take as Hellboy. One, Ron Perlman is too old. He's in his fucking 70s now at this point. Guillermo del Toro has what, like 50, 60 different projects that he's attached to at the moment. So you'll never ever get him coming back again to this. And third, um, the last Hellboy, the second, that Ron Perlman was in was what, 15 years ago, something like that. So yeah, just move on. That's all you need to do. Just move on to something else. It's already past its prime. I actually liked the David Harbour version of it of Hellboy. It just wasn't given a chance, and also the makeup. The only thing the makeup sucked on that one, but everything else was actually decent about that storyline. And yeah, it just wasn't given a chance. You have all those Guillermo del Toro people that are out there that are unflinching. I mean, they are just they're worse than Rick and Morty fans and Star Wars fans, combined. They really are. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get some hate stuff on that in my comments, but fuck you. You guys are horrible. Um, I'm kind of scrolling through my stuff here to see what else is there. Oh yeah, so Dead Boy Detectives. Speaking of stuff moving from HBO Max over to other things, Dead Boy Detectives is moving from HBO Max to Netflix. So Dead Boy Detectives, by the way, if you watched Doom Patrol had an episode with the Dead Boy Detectives in it, and I believe that was in last season's, not the current season that we're in. Hey, Morks, how's it going? Um, and again, they're recast the leads and all of this. I think they're keeping the woman who is playing um their live person, but yeah. But no, it's pretty funny. So yeah, this is going over to Netflix. Mark Guggenheim is or not Guggenheim, is that his name? Can never remember his fucking name now. Greg Berlanti. There we go. Greg Berlanti is going to be who was basically running the whole CWDC universe stuff. So he's going to be the showrunner for it, of course, again. And he's actually all pissed off because James Gunn never called him to invite him to the new DC universe that they're creating over DC. And there's a good reason why he wasn't called over to go into the writer's room, is because I'm sorry, but the CW versions of DC sucked. They were passable, they were okay, but they weren't good. They were by no means good. Um, yeah, they sucked, especially just because they didn't have the budget for it, and yeah, it just they weren't good. And I'm kind of glad that they didn't. Yes, I agree with you, Marks. The CW everything did suck. I'm surprised that Doom Patrol came out as well as it did, and again that is having to do with Chris. Um, oh fuck, the showrunner for Doom Patrol is the one. That's the only reason why that actually works, is because of their showrunner. Even though that is Greg Berlanti produced as well. But yeah, Dead Boy Detectives is going over to Netflix from HBO Max. Excuse me. So I was gonna actually go and see Ant-Man Quantumania again, and this weekend, but yeah, I just haven't gone out to go and do that. So yeah, I do want to go and see it again in the theater. I liked it. I know a lot of people don't like it or have problems with it or whatever, but yeah, I was okay with it. I liked it. I thought it was fun. Excuse me. What else is there out there? As I'm looking through here, I'm kind of scrolling through at the moment. Oh yeah, The Peripheral got renewed for a season 2, for a second season, and I'm happy about that. That was actually some good news. I was really on the fence that they weren't going to get picked up, and I was gonna be pretty pissed off about that one. Raymond says the new Batman animated movie is good. Doom of Gotham. Oh yeah. Doom Comes to Gotham. I'm waiting for that to come out whenever it does come out on HBO Max, which it probably won't. Legends, was actually fairly decent Morks, and it's just because it never took itself seriously. The thing that made me laugh was, they just started making jokes that they couldn't afford the special effects budgets. Within the script itself, they were talking about that, and they were just making fun of, the CW and, Berlante and all that kinda stuff, and, they really that was kinda what I liked Legends for, was that they had the balls enough to call out the higher ups on that one within the script itself. Quantumania has done okay, Marks. It's done decent numbers, quite honestly. I know everyone keeps saying, I know there's other sites out there that go, "Oh my god, it's crashed and burned, it's crashed and burned." Ah." But it really hasn't. Yeah, that's my by the way, that's my version of the screaming into the ether that most of those sites do. Um, so yeah, it's made worldwide about $500 million. Um, and its budget was probably in the neighborhood of, I'm trying to see what the budget was here at the moment. um, I'm not seeing the budget at the moment, but I'm sure the budget was somewhere in the neighborhood of, 200 million, maybe somewhere around there, you know, and that's fairly decent. So that actually, if they made $500 million and it cost 200 million to make, that actually breaks even at that point. So, yeah. Mark says, for all the hype, I don't follow sites. Yeah, I know. I know. You don't even subscribe to this one. I know that. But anyway, yeah, the peripheral renewed for season two. Looking forward to season two coming up. I'm wondering how they're gonna do this, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It really is. What else do I have here? Um, oh yeah. So I don't know if you saw, but AMC theaters has started charging for better seats in their theaters, and I'm wondering if that means that they're gonna actually start selling tickets to other better theaters, that aren't AMC theaters for those better seats, because quite honestly, I've never been in an AMC theater that has better seats. Um, yeah, it's AMC theaters have shitty projection, shitty seats, shitty theaters is really what they have. I stopped going to AMC theaters a long time ago. I just refused. And yeah, I mean, the only time I would ever go is if there was going to be a sneak preview of something. If there was, I had been in, yeah, awful sound, exactly, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm just hoping AMC goes away. They need to go away at this point. So um, what else is there? Oh yeah, and then Hitmonkey, which is another Marvel property, by the way, has been renewed for a second season at Hulu, but it's no longer called Marvel's Hitmonkey, it's called Hitmonkey, which is kind of weird that it's removing Marvel from the title, but okay. That's fine. Mark says the seats of the AMC I go to are comfy, but the sound you can hear interference on the speak. Wow. Yeah, that's horrible when you just get that buzzing sound. I know on my home theater, sometimes if I bring the sound down too low, I get the buzzing, the sound, and that's just because there isn't enough power at that low volume in order to get to the speakers. So it's having some interference at that point. So I need to crank it back up again. At the neighbors, uh, you know, protesting at that point, but who cares? Um, Oh yeah, Star Wars Visions Volume 2. Remember Visions? That was the anime version of Star Wars. So there's going to be a Volume 2 that's going to happen on May 4th on Disney Plus. I'm looking forward to that as well. So that is going to be a lot of fun Do I have that up there? Excuse me. I don't think I do have that up there on, nope, I don't. Oh, no, actually I do. I have it up on the, suspendedfanimation.com. I have it up on the future stuff that's going on. And actually, what is today? Today is the 12th. On Tuesday, Superman and Lois season 3 is gonna start on the CW. Speaking of the CW, that's the other thing that's actually good is Superman and Lois. Don't know how that came about as being good on the CW, but that's actually a decent show. Gotham Knights, on the other hand, which is supposed to be showing up on the CW on the same night, I've heard it's just dog shit. It looks like dog shit too. So, and I'm sure it's only going to get, not even through that first season before it gets canceled because the CW is going away anyway. It's becoming something else. It's already been sold off and portioned out, whatnot. Oh yeah, and for those of you who are watching Pennyworth, I should say, that was the very weird alternate take on Alfred Pennyworth, his early years on it would started off on Epic, which was a Sony owned station, and then it moved over to HBO Max for the third season. Well, it's been canceled after the third season, so there's no more Pennyworth after that. It's done. There you go. I mean, it was a very weird show. If you ever got a chance to watch it, I watched all 3 seasons and it just got weirder and weird. The second season was just absolutely fucking bonkers, where there was a civil war in Great Britain. And then the third season's even weirder, if that was possible. And then, yeah, that's how they ended it. And you had, Martha and Thomas Wayne in it as well, and they have a daughter. So yeah, there's just all kinds of weirdness in that show. But interesting. Uh yeah. And supposedly a lot of former HBO Max shows are finding a home over at Roku and Tubi. Um, I know the Nevers, the second half of season 1 was supposed to be over at Tubi, but they had it where you actually had to watch at a certain time, and they never announced when those times really were, so you actually had to hunt for it. Otherwise, it's not streaming anywhere. And you can't buy it anywhere, and you can't watch it anywhere except for Tubi and that certain whenever they show it. And it's just horrible, horribly, horribly bad. So yeah, Warner Brothers just has fucked so many things, so many ways that it's ridiculous. It really is at this point. Excuse me. My throat is just wanting to. It's not AT&T. Warner Brothers is owned by Discovery Plus. Marks. AT&T sold off that shit a long time ago. That's been over 2 years now at this point. But yeah, that's been gone a long, long time. What else is there? Oh yeah, The Last of Us has been renewed for a second season. That was no surprise. That was after the first episode. They got renewed for a second season. Um, and of course, Morks, I'm sorry to tell you, but season 4 of Titans, that's its last season. Yeah. But it's also Doom Patrol's last season as well, which really kind of sucks. And no word as to when the second half of both of those are coming back, or if they're going to be shown, or if they're moving over to Tubi or something stupid like that. And that really kind of pissed me off. So, especially for Doom Patrol, I wanted the second half of that season to find out what the fuck happened, but who knows? And I know that the showrunner for Doom Patrol actually has uh, written it in a way that it does end, so that it's a nice ending to this season. And that's kind of what I want. I just want some closure on it. Titans I could give a shit about. So yeah. This is kind of interesting too. So Superman and Lois had cast Michael Cudlitz as Lex Luthor. So he was on. He's been on The Walking Dead. Let's see. What I remember him from is Gross Point Blank, which is a John Cusack movie, and that's what I remember seeing him first in. And so he's a good actor. He's actually a decent actor. But he's got a full head of hair, so I'm guessing he's just gonna shave it off and go bald because I can't see him doing a bald cap. And I don't think the producers are gonna allow him to do a bald cap because it's just gonna look weird. So, because he's got curly, wavy hair kind of thing, so he's gonna have to go, yeah. Unless he's gonna do the Gene Hackman thing where, he's gonna have hair throughout the entire thing, and then only at the very end does he pull off the wig to reveal the bald cap that he was wearing, which was interesting. So, oh, what else do we have here? Oh, no word yet on whether Invincible season 2 is when it's coming out, just other than late 2023. We honestly don't know when that's going to come out, but yeah. Even the Oscars are better than Titans, and the Oscars aren't worth. Yeah, exactly. The Oscars are just boring. They really are. They're really, really, really boring. Um, So fun story time. When I was living in San Francisco back in the 90s, yeah, yeah, in the 90s, when I was living in San Francisco. Well, yeah, in the 90s. Um, there used to be a group of, that's when there were a lot more artists were living in the city. It was more affordable for artists who have, lofts and whatnot, lofts and all that kind of stuff. So there used to be groups of artists that would get together and they would do things like rent out a theater and show the Oscars live, and they would do like a big party. So there'd be an Oscars party where they would have the Oscars, being broadcast on the big screen. They would have, food, drinks, all that kind of stuff around. And it was actually a lot of fun because it wasn't really about the Oscars. It was really about people that you were with. And that is actually the way to do the Oscars, is to have an event like that. That is going to that's the way to actually watch the Oscars, is to have it that way. But that was when the Oscars were a bit more fun too, and not the serious pretentious bullshit that it is now. So, you know, anyway. What about the boys, Marks? What about the boys? I don't know when that's coming back. So, no word on that as of yet. They haven't said anything about it, but it'll be coming back soon. Yeah. Trying to see if there's anything else here. There really isn't anything else. So, oh, Wednesday has been renewed for a second season of Netflix, to nobody's great surprise on that one. Yeah. And that's pretty much about it. There's not much else out there. Oh yeah, Netflix canceled 1899 after one season. I'm really not that surprised, quite honestly, because I couldn't make it past I think I got into the third episode, and that was when I was like, nope, I'm gonna close this off because it's just boring at this point. Yeah, I know there's a lot of fans of Dark out there. I still haven't gotten through Dark either. It's just, I don't know what it is, but I find it boring. I really do. And I haven't been able to get past I think for Dark, the first season, I think I got into episode 3. Again, I think it's about the third episode and I stopped just because it's been boring. So, I know. But yeah, when you meander and you don't get to the fucking point and it just keeps going, and it just, yeah, I'm like, so what's the point? Are you going to get to a point? Are we going to get someplace? Are we going someplace with this? What's happening here? Are we and yeah, it just yeah. And no, I do not have ADHD. Not that that's bad or anything like that. I'm just saying that's not my thing. Um, what else? Again, that's all I've got for you here. Yeah, I've caught up to everything now. I could talk a little about James Gunn and Peter Seraphine, and I do think that that was the right move for Warner Brothers to hire both of them to bring them into the fold and to have them guide DC Studios and basically they've released they've released a template of what movies are going to be coming out and when. I think they've released like was it 7 movies titles that they've talked about. The Superman movie, I forget what the title of it is now. Excuse me, that James Gunn is writing and he's also going to be directing. I'm looking forward to that, and that's actually going to be a younger Superman. That's why Henry Cavill was, not invited back to that one. And actually, Henry Cavill was fired as Superman before Gunn and Peter Seraphine were brought into all of this. So that was the Warner Brothers executives who had taken Henry Cavill out of the equation long ago and had nothing to do with James Gunn or Peter Seraphine. And actually, James Gunn met with Henry Cavill because he wants to bring him in for other stuff, DC wise, which I think is the right thing to do. I mean, you can bring him into other, you know, projects within the DC universe. Who's going to be Superman? I don't know. Although Henry Cavill is actually signed on to, he's going to be the lead, and I believe he's also going to be the producer of for Warhammer 40K, which is going to be on Amazon Prime. So, which I guess he is a huge fucking fan of. So he's a gamer, he's a nerd as well, Henry Cavill. So that is what his jam is, and that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be starring in it. He's going to be producing it. So yeah, that's the main reason why he dropped the Witcher, because he was going to be doing that. Yeah, Superman he had been dropped out of like 3 years ago. Yeah. Um, Mork says not a Warhammer 40K fan, but I know. Yeah, I'm not a Warhammer 40K fan either. I really don't know much about the universe other than I know that the game has mech in it. That's about all I know. Um, I do remember. Oh wow, now I remember. I just had a little flashback there in the 90s in San Francisco. So there was a Sony Metreon theater is what we had, or Sony Metreon building, and they had a game room that was so it was basically what it looked like was it was based off of the artist Mobius. A lot of his artwork, that's how they had kind of laid it out, but it had games in there, some proprietary games, and one of them was a Warhammer 40K game where you actually jumped into a pod and you were supposed to be riding a mech, is what it was, and you went up against other players, and it actually it rocked back and forth and whatnot to give you that mech kind of feel to it. It was pretty shitty for the most part. Now I think about it, thinking back on it, but at the time we were like, oh yeah, this is kind of cool. But it was really expensive though too. It was like $5 for 2 minutes or something like that. But yeah. Mark says, I know he's a big World of Warcraft player, apparently really good. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I know he's a huge gamer. Huge gamer. And that's cool. I mean, that's always good. Well, That's all I got for you guys for today. What else am I doing for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow is going to be the season finale of The Last of Us. That's right, the season finale of The Last of Us. And stay through the end of the credits tonight. If you're going to be watching the episode tonight, there is I guess, an entire episode after the credits that talks about how they put together the entire thing, including special effects and all that kind of stuff. So they are going to be talking about that at the end of the credits there. Um, Tuesday, I'm going to take Tuesday off. I'm not going to do an episode of Is It Worth My Time? I'm going to just take Tuesday off there. Wednesday is going to be The Mandalorian. Thursday is going to be The Bad Batch. And then Friday I'll be off. And maybe I'll do another, Saturday morning blast off during the weekend. I don't know as of yet. I'm thinking about that. I'll see how things go. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. You can go and watch the Oscars or not watch the Oscars, whatever you want to do there. Yeah, nice seeing you, two Morks. I will see you guys again tomorrow for The Last of Us, season finale of The Last of Us. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you might wind up just flying by the seat of your pants, kind of like what I do on most of my stuff here. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. It doesn't work without the boosters. And stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks. Have a good rest of your night and take care, everyone. Good night.